eclipse is 1 week away. Before there was the scientific reasoning behind the astronomical event, there were cultural myths and superstitions for why the sun disappeared. CBS 8's Abby Black shares some ancient stories and how much of the folklore is still shared today.
There's the scientific principles behind the total solar eclipse. So when you look up, remember not to look directly at the sun with the naked eye. Your imagination starts to wander, and the sun and the moon become these mythical creatures. That's folklore. Literary say don't discount ancient stories about the eclipse. Long before telescopes, ancient cultures created their own beliefs of what was happening during a total solar eclipse.
Eclipses, the best scientific knowledge that we have came from the Mayans.
Dr. Amanda Peterson, the University of San Diego Associate Dean of Undergraduate Studies in the College of Arts and Sciences and a professor of Latin American Studies, points to a short story written by Guatemalan writer Augusto Montoroso called The Eclipse.
And a priest is trying to threaten an indigenous group and say, well, if you don't do as I say, the sun will go dark. And they're like, who's this guy? Like, he's saying his God is going to do this because really our gods do this.
This magical realism story shows that nature will overcome humans, a belief that still exists today.
We start to think, oh, this is just kind of superstition and folklore, but truly the science and a lot of notions that came from pre-conquest, the cultures that were discovered with the conquest, are things that we base our current science on.
The ancient Greeks' understanding of astronomy dates back to the 5th century BCE, when philosopher Thales correctly predicted the solar eclipse. That day was particularly historic, as the eclipse was a catalyst for peace talks between the Lydians and Medes, who had been at war with each other. The work of the Greeks spread to the Islamic world in the 9th and 10th centuries and played a role in their religion. Instead of the eclipse being feared, as it was in many cultures, the Prophet Muhammad said that there were wonders to be admired and proved the might and power of Allah the Great. In Chinese mythos, a celestial dragon swallowed the sun and moon during an eclipse. To scare away the sun and moon eating dragon, people would bang on loud drums to scare the dragon away and restore order to the universe. While the eclipse has a scientific significance, these ancient stories help us to better understand the meaning behind cultural customs.
Like, we have all these things that kind of live rent-free because we just assume them to be a truth and don't understand that like there was some sort of narrative or story that made us think that and about that meaning.
Abby Black, CBS 8.
Very interesting. Thanks so much,